Revelation 1144. From the 21st of October 1939. Wrestling of the good and evil power for the souls. Supporting the people. There is a mighty struggle for supremacy between the good and the evil forces. And the omnipotence of divine love is powerfully active and provides more and more auxiliary powers to the earthly beings so that evil is overcome and its effect on the human souls is weakened. And nevertheless these fall more and more under the spell of darkness, because the will of man offers no resistance, and so innumerable possibilities for the ascent to the detachment from evil can be offered to the being. It does not use its free will and is therefore in greatest danger, and the love of the spiritual beings who cares about the souls, is not able to influence the will of man. And so the struggle for this becomes more and more difficult and still cannot be given up, because only through incessant care and untiring devotion of spiritual power, it is possible to achieve a change of thought and therefore also to steer the will on to different ways. Sometimes it can be completely unsuccessful, but many times a person, who is struggling for the salvation of his soul in an extraordinary way, be it through prayer or the caring love of a fellow human being, or also the incessant efforts of spiritual beings, precisely through the application of such spiritual power, will feel induced to think differently than before. He will suddenly feel an inclination for spiritual exchange. He will pay attention to spiritual problems and concern himself more with things which seemed unimportant to him up to now. And this change of his thinking was only brought about by the love of the spiritual beings and the love of the fellow human being, and consequently these wrest so many souls from the powers of darkness, if they work together for such erring souls and have set their salvation as their goal. As far as the beings on the other side, who care for the earthly beings, are supported by the love of the people, as far as they are effectively assisted through believing prayer and door and gate are opened for the spiritual work through hints from the people, success is inevitable, and all such efforts lead to the goal, even if often only after a long time. For God in His infinite love is ready to give, and He will therefore leave no request unheard which is meant for the salvation of the individual. If the love of man is meant for the salvation of the soul of his fellow man, the unselfishness of his love is proven. He only has his welfare in eternity in mind and fears for the soul that it does not fall prey to ruin. And the same motive also drives the beings on the other side to tireless activity. They are absorbed in their love for earthly people and want to protect them from the sufferings and torments in the hereafter, and all their efforts are aimed at transforming the thinking of the misguided earthly children. And therefore it is of incomparable blessing when the prayer of a person is meant for the spiritual welfare of his fellow man, and the struggle for such souls will find greatest support from the spiritual side, because it succeeds much easier to overcome the evil power and to lead the souls to the light through the united work. Amen.